What's going on, everybody? Brett here, and we're back with my YouTube channel, Good Talk Gaming, playing some more Battle Brothers Beasts and Exploration DLC. Picking up where we left off last time. It's day 230. It's midday. And how hyped are you guys from the last episode? So we found the Black Monolith. Step number 1 is definitely finding it. Step number 2 is preparing for it, which we are not at all. And then step number 3 is taking it out. Talked a bit in the comment section, people offering their ideas for how to get engaged with this fight. We're nowhere near ready for this. I want to let you guys know that in addition to finding the Black Monolith, of course, at the end of the last episode, we found Vargash Hardtack, which is something like the war camp of the orcs. In this location is a warlord and a lot of young berserkers and warriors. I want to tell you guys, be completely transparent, I tried to take this on. I spent about a half hour's worth of recording trying to do this fight, and what I came to the conclusion of is that we're just not quite ready. Our gear is not quite good enough, our levels are just not quite high enough, and our weapons are just not quite suited to fighting the heavy armor of the orcs. And others of my playthroughs, I think I've taken down an orc war camp, you know, at like day 160 or something in some of my other playthroughs, where I was a lot more advanced in my levels. Had way fewer characters, but much better gear because I was spending a lot less crowns and I was able to sell more. But in this playthrough, we've kind of taken the slow and steady approach, and we're filling out our roster very well. But we're not there yet. Noble swords are junk against orc warriors. Fighting spears, while pretty great at holding back the horde, and you know, in my attempts, it held them back very well. For multiple turns, they kept trying to jump in on us, but our spear masters were able to hold them off. But once they're able to get in, the fighting spears, the swords, they just don't cut it. Having Hondo in reserve for this fight was a huge detriment. I just didn't have that armor piercing. I didn't have that huge distraction out on the right flank. And I can just briefly tell you, as we walk around, what ended up happening. So I was able to, with my archery, to demolish the berserkers and several of the young, and about that time, I mean that's a lot of guys. It's many orc young and several berserkers. Later, the warriors basically are able to close the distance, and with their heavy armor and their charges and stuns, they're just extremely difficult to take out, and I wasn't able to finish them. And all the while, the orc warlord is bellowing, breaking my morale, raising his own, so that by the time you get to the point where you're actually fighting the orcs, they are nearly unbreakable. And that's when your guys are super tired, and there's just no more ability left to fight the orc warriors. And that's when my guys started to go down one after the other. I had a really promising attempt. I tried it twice. The second attempt was super promising. I was able to spear wall them out for a long time, do lots of damage, lots of injuries, and then Lance, for like no reason whatsoever, routed on the right flank. He was holding back many orc warriors until he eventually routed, and yeah, that totally threw off the entire battle, and he ends up getting killed, and that was it. But it was still super fun to try. I wanted to do it on camera for you guys. I tried pretty dang hard. We're just not quite there. Optimal weapons for taking on the orcs. I want to say that my build, the first time I ever did it, was I had a front line of alternating. Ooh, we can take this fight. Let's get our revenge and kill these orcs here. But I think the first time I ever did it, and I have the achievement in my Steam profile. I want to make sure I wasn't telling you guys something bull. I have killed these guys before, but I want to say that build included an alternating line of spearmen, but all in between were hammers and great swords. And what they're really good at is hitting dudes down a line. Wow, good miss. We'll take this shot. So hitting guys down the line. So when the orcs and their warriors and such would line up and finally make it past the spear wall, next thing you know, they're getting slammed, absolutely slammed by great swords. Wow, quality misses there. Step out. And in that way, you're able to get a lot of extra damage across. I'm going to take that high ground, make sure they don't get that. And I was even using all of my war dogs. I mean, I tried, guys. We're not there quite yet. I think, honestly, several levels would make a difference on even our veteran bros, which is, you know, this crew is a complete veteran crew with our best gear, and they weren't able to do it. So, resolve ended up being something of an issue. Weapon types ended up being something of an issue. And, yeah, we could do a lot of work, but we could not get to that tipping point. And guys, had I lost 1, 2, even 3 brothers, I may have just called that good and showed you guys that. But once you get to a certain point, there was no more fighting. The Orc warriors just kind of break up your entire formation with their charges, and you can't really fight back. So it wasn't that fun to watch, I guarantee you. Step up. Should just be able to take this guy out. And here we go. Yeah, the biggest problem was certainly the armor. Yeah, I was about to say we should have initiative over this guy, and we take him down. No damage taken, and we got a level on Ivar, which is nice. But Ivar was not able to hold that flank for us, not at all. If we missed any of our opening shots, we were quickly overwhelmed by Berserkers and Orc Young getting into our back line. We really had to protect our Archer Corps, because if we weren't able to do that, we're not going to be able to deal damage, and that ended up being quite the problem for us. Okay. Nice 3 roll and melee skill. We'll take that. We'll also take a 3 in fatigue and a 4 in resolve. I'm pretty happy with having him over 60. That seems quite nice for him. I would also like to probably get him Indomitable as a bit of a defensive trait for him, and perhaps even recover when the time comes, once we get our refunded perk from student. But I think we're going to get Indomitable here. I've seen the power of this skill on Lance. I kind of wish I had it on Hondo as well, but I do like his skills. Okay, and right now, guys, we're just exploring. We're making some cash. You know, while I'm doing that, we should go into our stash. And I think we got, yes, this is worth repairing. Anything else? These are all generally worth repairing, and I've repaired the other ones, as you can see. It's completely switched around our gear. And for right now, I'm going to leave in my 18. Oh god, here's another one. So this one actually looks a little bit easier than the other one. Urug Wargash, a large and foul-smelling sea of tents with a warlord's tent and throne room in the middle, the largest of all. It's home to a whole tribe until they move on to hunt and raid elsewhere. So, this one I think has fewer orc warriors, which is kind of the important component to these battles. And you know what I can do, guys? Let's try it. We'll do like we did with the witch's hut. We'll try. I'll take it on for you guys on camera. And, you know, we might have some success. If I lose a brother or two, but we win the fight ultimately, I'll be satisfied with that. Obviously, I don't want to lose very important brothers, but I want to show you guys all the content that I can, you know, as quickly as I can. I know other people are probably outstripping me in terms of YouTubiness, but I hope you enjoy watching this playthrough. So my biggest regret still is that Hondo is injured. Split hand is a pretty bad injury, and if I could change up all of our weapons in the front lines, we'd just probably be using hammers, to be honest, and we'd be smashing them like this Warhammer here on Severandox. But we're gonna try it, guys. We're gonna try it, and if we fail, I save the game. We can reload and just walk right by, and you know, go on to do something else. Also, a decent strategy for fighting orcs is to try and fight them in places like swamps, because they don't have any ranged at all, so they're going to have to come to you. Oh yeah, this is a much smaller band. The one I tried facing earlier had 24. The group we might have just killed probably came from this place. That's such huge damage. That bow is ridiculous. So the Berserkers and the Young stepping forward because of their high initiative. But yeah, imagine, I mean, 24 was so much worse than what we're currently fighting. Take the 76s. Getting early kills against the Orcs is pretty valuable. Take an 83 there. Happy to get that injury. Okay. We're going to move out with Lance. And we're going to spear wall. Ivar steps up. And I'm happy to have Indomitable, which is something I didn't have on him in my previous fight. Shield wall, not super effective against the Orcs because they can just bash it down. But spear wall, very effective. So, I mean, already we're fighting 15 as opposed to, you know, the opening salvos, I was barely able to kill one. And I was going into this fight against 24. An extra 8 guys on the battlefield, many of them being Berserkers and Warriors, made a huge difference. And here you see your first look at Grug Zartum. So, check this dude out. He's actually using a heater shield as a pauldron. That's how big he is. And he's got an axe and shield. He's going to be tanky. They come in all different flavors. He could be just as easily wielding one of the man splitters, which makes him an ungodly dangerous opponent. This just makes him tanky. Still dangerous, of course. But if you're wondering about like the stats of an Orc Warlord, just kind of think of like 2 Orc Warriors, like an Orc Warrior and an Orc Young, kind of like smashed together into one guy. And that's basically what you have here. And unfortunately, we're also taking this fight, you may have noticed when I looked at my guys in their kind of their selection screen. They have really poor morale right now, which is having a bit of a negative impact on their resolve. And one of the things that the Orc Warlords do is they do like this bellow, which enrages the Orcs, makes them fight better, but also causes my guys fear. So one of the problems I had was once Lance was surrounded, he started to break. A lot of our build is focused around being able to make things route. We do have... Should we take those shots? We'll take these. We have these direwolf pelts on our guys to make, you know, a bit of an attempt at routing things. God, we wanted that. We could step in and do a big swing. We lose our lone wolf. But we get a kill there and we can Indomitable. Okay. I'm going to Indomitable here as well. Yeah, he's already starting to waver. But with high morale comes a bonus to resolve, is what I was trying to get at. And without that bonus, we're much more susceptible to routing than we otherwise would be. And with our build being focused with these direwolf pelts and with fearsome as a trait that we possess on almost all of our brothers, we were really counting on being able to route these guys, and the Warlord makes that difficult. Big hit there from the Great Axe. I want to say Lance is too far away for any sort of rally. We can't count on pushing a Warlord back. It's not really a thing. And unfortunately, this warrior is getting into the back lines on Edgel. We're going to drop a dog here. Dogs are useful tools. We need to not be scared to lose them in this type of fight. What they're going to do is, this dog is keeping this Berserker from jumping in on Raymond. And if Edgel has a dog, we would have dropped him there. But that's okay. Nice. You'll see there they're starting to feel the effects of their poor resolve. 55. 81 is a pretty nice shot. 62. Just poor lines of sight. We need to take good shots. Kind of don't hate shooting the Warlord just to give him that double stack of overwhelm. Ivar has Indomitable. We're happy with him tanking for now. And they're not taking our fight straight up, which is, you know, a mixed bag of good and bad. We want them to dash themselves against our wall. Okay. And if they're not going to do that, we need to move down and start engaging them. Okay, Edgel. Edgel does not have a dog. But if he can get that kill, that would be nice. And he does. He slams him. Great job. Okay. We're going to hold off on Scaredy there. Yeah, just to let you guys know, in the previous battle, Scaredy was like MVP. He was not scared at all. That's what I expected. And unfortunately, we're a bit too surrounded to use any of Ivar's better abilities. But we'll do some damage. We'll Indomitable. We kind of hope they target him. Nice. Nice. Here goes Lance. Nail him. Wow, and we routed the Warlord. Unbelievable. We need to lock him down ASAP. That was just so much damage in one swing. He like crushed their armor. He didn't even hit this guy. So one of the things I thought about that I wish I had used for my earlier attempts, where we have tons of like Linworm blood or acid that we made, and orcs are so heavily armored, I think that would have been a great idea to try and you know, melt down their armor essentially. He tried to run and Lance bopped him in the head. That's awesome. So guys, this is already going much better. Wow, and Lance just killed a warrior. Dog's doing work, but he's bleeding. Poor doggo. Aracel is stunned, but his armor is holding. We step up here. Wow, we didn't get the kill. Let's see where our dog will go. Hopefully down. Yes, perfect. Nice. We looked for an open shot, basically. I didn't want to have to move and waste a turn. I think this warrior is probably the scariest person on the battlefield right now for us. I don't think we have an open shot on anyone. We'll step up here. Perfect. And orcs, one of the fun things about fighting them is this guy doesn't have any loot that we want. We'll just need to surround him and kill him. It's a straightforward fight. And we don't have to worry about zone of control at all. And we're able to rout both of them. So great. I mean, I think what ended up saving us a lot of grief this battle, and aside from their numbers, of course, is the fact that the Orc Warlord felt the need, for whatever reason, to try and engage in melee over using his bellow. These guys would all be basically unbreakable if he was using his bellow instead of just trying to get into combat with us in a spear wall. Wow, that's a lot of damage. I am super happy I'm able to showcase this enemy for you guys, even if it is on a slightly less epic scale. But yeah, this is going to be awesome. Most of their fighters are running, and our dog dies from bleeding out. So, you know, not a completely flawless victory by any means. I think we'll step forward here, take that shot. Try and rout the ones that are still in the fight. Probably could have stepped forward here and given ourselves a little more reach on the other guy. Wow. Edgel with the killing frenzy, man. was hoping to get that kill just so the dog didn't take it. He's out of breath. Brutal. Actually, probably should have just moved up. Not injuring him is pretty rough. Wonder who got the kill there. The dog definitely hit, but I think so did we with Burnfried. You can switch to an axe, but there's no real reason. I think I mentioned in a previous video they somewhat changed how the warbows work in terms of their damage, armor piercing percentages. I think the whole idea was to really differentiate the types of damage that's done between the crossbow and the warbow. I think the warbow was a little bit too utilitarian, and I think they saw that. Really don't want the dog to take the kill here, because while we still will get the loot and all that good stuff, it would definitely take the experience. So only one of these left. Guys, I'm super happy we just killed a warlord. A warlord in a smaller camp, but a warlord nonetheless. And I do think that those berserkers and young were coming from this battle. And while I do believe that we could have won this battle regardless, it would have come at a much higher cost. We barely took damage this battle, and I think had those guys been there distracting us, taking our shots, closing in on our ranged units, getting those surrounds, you know, whatever the case may have been, it wouldn't have been this easy. This is normally not an easy fight. And there we go. I was about to say, I'm kind of surprised he's not actually routed yet. Just moving everybody into position. There we go. And Oz levels, Oz the Footless. And what do we get? White pearls, that's our big payoff. Lots of meat, tons of tools, which is okay. I mean, this is a lot of gold, I guess. I was really hoping for something unique. And of course we need to come in here and kind of sort this out. We don't need this meat. We'll take these. If I remember right, the wooden shield is basically worthless. So we'll leave that alone. So guys, we took out our first warlord. You see there I didn't get the achievement, so I'm pretty sure I must have done that. What is this? A man in a suit of armor stops you on the path. You put a hand to your sword and order him to announce his intentions, all the while keeping your eyes peeled for an ambush. The stranger takes a step forward and removes his helm. I am Egil, another Egil, a fighter from a fiery land with no name. I stood upon the hills of an evil council. I slew the monsters of Dev Ungrad. I gave peace to the spirits of Shelstea. When the ancients speak, I listen, and so here I am. You take your hand off your sword and ask him of the ancients. He nods and speaks. The men before men, the ancients were suzerain over all things, having forged an empire that stretched to realms far beyond this one. All this chaos is mere fragments of their destruction. A man may die, but an empire does not. An empire decays piece by piece. It takes with it all that it thinks it is owed. The Crusader puts his helmet back on and holds his sword up. The empire of the ancient stirs in its grave. I wish to help quiet it. I offer you my sword, mercenary. Wow. Full helm and a great sword on this guy, and he sounds like a badass. We're going to take this dude. Is that our 20th guy? What a crazy set of circumstances. Egil the Crusader. Oh my god. Oh my god. I want to look at this guy's stuff. Like, you ever get a present you know is going to be something really, really good and you don't want to open it because it's like that moment of getting that present is so much better sometimes than the present itself? That's where I'm at right now. I'm looking at this guy's like perks and I'm looking at his stars and stuff. Oh my god. His background is Crusader. Edge will join your party during the Undead Scourge. Little is known about him, and he almost never talks save for the occasional grunt while swinging his sword. His language seems to be codified into one simple structure: killing creatures of evil. He comes at level 6. Hate for undead. Some past event in this character's life has fueled a burning hatred for all things that refuse to stay 6 feet underground. Plus 10 resolve when fighting undead. Quick. Already there, this character is quick to act, often before his opponents do. Wow. Spartan. So this guy doesn't leave if you don't have any food. What an awesome dude. Oh my god, I'm going to have to think about how to level this guy. Oh my gosh, because this dude with his plus 10 initiative, his resolve, his rolls in melee skill, melee defense, I mean, he could just be another amazing lone wolf brother. Man, it's hard to say. It is very hard to say. I'm going to hold off on doing anything with him, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you think I should do with Edgel. I'd be very interested to hear your ideas, your input. Yeah, I'm kind of not sure. I want to do something, different with him, but I know there's really no going wrong with a character like this. If I want to put him in Battle Forged, give him sword mastery for the great sword, and all these different things, I can make him essentially another Hondo. But there may be something cooler I'm not seeing. We're already grooming Sir Steinhardt to be our fencer, and he's almost there. He's super close. I don't think I've ever experienced this event. And I also don't know if this guy wants to leave after the undead crisis is over. But that would be pretty unusual. I know there are some classes that aren't like permanent. I mean, this guy is a Crusader, for goodness sakes. I don't know if he ends up leaving if you don't, if the undead crisis is over. If he's just kind of like shows up to help you and then he's gone. But what a cool thing. I definitely know what the title of today's video is going to be, that's for sure. It's going to be like the Crusader and the Warlord or something like that. Stone pillars. Stone pillars? Looks like beasts ran away from here. You know what, guys? I'm saving this game. A bit weird to do that on camera. But we just had 2 really cool events happen. And I don't, 2 very cool things happen. And I don't want to, like, waste those. Let's come into here and see what's happening. The stone pillars. Another thing I haven't seen before. You stumble across a woman in the swamps, alone, and with a rucksack, and a pannier with rolls of what may be maps. And there's a dagger to her left hip, and pots and pans to her right. There's a kicked campfire nearby, and a pile of tomes shoed into a velvet sock. Everything she is and everything she has is covered in the greenery of the mire. She's standing there, staring at you, and you at her. It's not exactly ordinary for a woman to be out alone in the bog. She smiles quaintly, hesitantly. Hello. With a hand on the handle of your sword, you eye the surrounding parts for an ambush. You ask her what she's doing out this way, and she says you wouldn't believe her. You've seen enough to lend credence to even the edges of whatever insanity she could respond with. The woman nods. Well, alright then. Come on over and I'll show you. Let's have a look. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, what are we doing? You tell the company to keep vigilant for scapegraces hiding in the swamp, but they only laugh and say you should have stopped at the whorehouse if you were so up and in a fit. Ignoring them, you head toward the woman. You find her on a log, a mushroom cap twisting in her hands, and she speaks rather honestly. I'm in search of a monster, and whether real or farce, to me it is a monster all the same, understand? In a way you do. Not all monsters are real, and a bog broad like this could be crazy. You ask her what the supposed beast is. She eats the mushroom and then grabs a book and throws it your way. There's a page held by a leaf, and you open to it. Drawn there is what looks like an octopus. Oh my god. This is the Kraken, with limbs the size of longships. It is in battle with a whole navy and seems to even be winning. The woman leans forward, her limp green hands hanging like kudzu between her knees. The monster I'm seeking is the Kraken. We're going to ask a lot of this. I don't think we're going to call her a nut bar. I'm going to ask how we can help. I'm not sure if that kind of dissuades whatever quest this might be. The woman leans back. She eats another mushroom and turns and stabs her dagger into a bug that had been scuttling across the log. Without so much as a pause, she eats it off the tip and speaks between mashing its carapace. Ordinarily, I'd be short on details and already waving this here dagger at your pecker, but I think you're keen on helping. I can see it in your eyes. You're a killer, a murderer, a lech, a fancier of the coin, and a crazy sumbitch. She swallows the remains of the insect and spits out its remains like the shell of a sunflower seed. She nods. I'm the daughter of a wealthy nobleman, but I'm clearly far away from that life. That she is. So what all do you know? Oh god, this is a lot of reading, guys. Hope you don't mind my reading. She turns to her tomes and stares at them as though they were gravestones. My father owns one of the largest libraries in all the land. In those halls I discovered stories of these very swamps. Stories by authors who, unwittingly, were repeating themselves. 10 years ago, 100, 1,000, all the same tale. A tale of men coming here and men disappearing. Resolution is not sought, and the answers are ambiguous. Bandits, diseases. One scholar simply said the men experienced such wonder at the beauties of the swamp that they decided to stay there. Can you believe that? Beauties of the swamp? Smirking, you say you're looking at one. She laughs. I haven't seen myself in months, but I'm serious, stranger. I've searched these parts and I haven't found a goddamn thing. She points a finger at the books. 20 disappearances was up to 300 men, armored with horses, some with caravans, some with protected highborn, and yet I look around out here and I don't see a single goddamn thing. You suspect if you went ahead and died in a swamp, no one would give a crap about you either, but that many tales is a little suspicious. Let's see how we can help. The woman rummages through her rucksack and produces a signet unlike any you've seen before. She flips it to you as though it were a shite counterfeit coin. Got plenty more where that came from. Well, not here exactly. Wouldn't want you getting any ideas about robbing and ravaging, you know. But you do what I ask and I'll dump a chest of those on you. You pocket the signet and ask what she needs. She answers, man, my bags are full. I wonder what that's even going to do. Hopefully that dumps off like something cheap. That I'm not entirely yet sure of. Sailors talk of the Kraken as being natural enemies to whales, but well, there are no whales around these parts given we're on land and all, but there is something close, an unhold of the bog. I suspect the Krakens through eons of time moved inland and fed upon what they could, and like when they were in the seas found an enemy here just as well. Bring me 9 unhold hides, and I may be able to lure the beast out of its slumber yet. Out of its slumber? Where the hell would it even be sleeping? You shrug and figure if she's willing to rid herself of such magnificent jewelry, then you'd be more than happy to oblige her. Let's see if we manage to get that ring. I'm pretty curious how that works. So the ring is here. We must have dropped something. And you know what? We'll just go ahead and kind of forget how to get rid of stuff. Where's the trash? How do you trash stuff? How do I not remember how to do that? Huh. Are we only able to throw stuff away in another menu? I don't quite remember. But let's see, how many hides do we have? Hopefully it's not something very easy that I'm just not remembering. We already have 6. We just need 3 more unhold hides, which is essentially nothing. We just need to find 1 unhold group and we'll be able to get that. And for all I know, we're following a small group right now. But we're going to head back to civilization. That was a lot of adventure for one day. And it looks like the footprints disappear here. Interesting. What did we find? A bunch of berserkers. We'll take that fight. And I think before we get super carried away, we'll take that fight and we'll probably put in some of our more inexperienced brothers. Edgel, we need to find a place for him in our front line as well. You know what? Never mind. We'll wait. this is going to be pretty annoying if we have to micromanage our inventory like that. So we'll just come in here and kill these berserkers. Take their very expensive weapons, drop off the trash. 9 of them is not a joke. That's a lot of berserkers. That guy's as good as dead. Alright. Good thing about berserkers is you know what you're going to get, because they step right out, try and take the fight to you. Let's go ahead and take this. We'll get our lone wolf, and we'll also position ourselves nicely between these 2 trees. If one of them wants to branch off and fight Lance, we're happy to do that. And we're going to Indomitable because they will undoubtedly go first. We're able to protect part of his flank, but not all of it. They can still go up and around, and if they're going up and around our formation, as it used to be in the olden times of our old classic spear wall, it's forcing the AI to take an extra turn to not engage here, which gives us an extra turn to shoot with our archers, which is where the majority of our DPS will come from in this battle. So let's see how it works. Yeah, they took the high ground on him. That is okay. We're going to look to protect ourselves. Lance should be able to deal with 1 berserker. Can't miss those shots though. Hoping for injuries. Injuries means our execution does a lot more damage. Nice. Indomitable goes right back up. Let's see, what do we have here? Multiple injuries. Good. We could probably just step forward and murk this guy. Step back. Spear wall. That's how you do it, guys. We'll use Indomitable one more time, because I have no doubt they're going to try and go up and around. And we could probably have moved Isaac here. Try and get a bit more coverage. But I think this is all fine. And they made it in. They're going up and around. Just as we predicted. And we're not stunned, thankfully. Almost entirely due to Indomitable, no doubt. Really can't miss those types of shots. Or that one. Nice. Not bad. We're going to get into it now. And we can take a double swing. Indomitable. Brutal shot. Indomitable. Let's get this kill. Man, not quite. We'll step here and see if we can just stab him once. And we can. Seems good. This guy doesn't have a dangerous two-handed weapon. So we can just... we could surround him without worry of being like wrecked by a man-splitter like this guy has. Which honestly, now that I say that, I'm a bit worried about being wrecked by it. We just need one more shot on him. And I think Raymond, with his high initiative, will be able to seal that. So who hasn't gone yet? This guy? Okay, we aimed for him. Ah, that's a lot of damage. But with our crossbows already loaded, no problem. Does he still have Lone Wolf? He does. We're not going to interfere with his Lone Wolf if we can help it. That was awful. 77. Nailed it. Never didn't have it, guys. And we'll step up as close as we can get after Lance takes his swing. There we go. We just want to make sure that our chances of hitting are as high as possible. And surrounding a dude with a chain like that is pretty dangerous. Honestly, probably should not have jumped in at all and just tried to take shots with our archers. If I could go back and do that again, I would. Scaredy has high initiative, but that's pretty much just luck. Ramen gets a level, which is nice. And here, we definitely want the man splitter. What we toss? We toss the janky meat. We will toss... The mushrooms are actually worth a fair amount. I don't really remember what you can even use them for. These shields are essentially worth nothing. We want the furs. They're a trade good. They're going to sell for a decent amount. And I think we can get rid of... We have a bunch of food that's about to spoil. What do we drop? What do we drop? The cudgels aren't super valuable. These shields honestly don't sell for that much. But if we have a bunch of food that's about to spoil, we can just go ahead and get rid of that. Call that good. Alright, now let's head back to a major city. We may head right back to Sudfest. And we'll probably see something along the way that'll tempt us to fight. Whoa, oh hell no, that's the new Alps. Surprised to see them in the afternoon, that's kind of strange. I know they lessened the maximum number of Alps you can find in a party from 12 down to 9. I don't know how you're supposed to fight 12 Alps, especially in their older iterations. It would take like an hour. It would take an hour of just constantly waking up your brothers, trying to get to one Alp, and then you kill him, and then doing it all over again to get to the second Alp. Rinse, repeat until you manage to kill the last guy. There's no way that was fun for anybody. I just can't imagine. See what the prices are like here. Hopefully they're still good. It's our shield. So they're decent. And we're going to sell. Let's look. We have 2,000 essentially. And we're going to sell. Hearing that gold sound makes me feel pretty good. We accidentally sold off one of our long axes. All of these things are worth cash money. And I don't remember what exactly the strange mushrooms do. I know we can use them in combat as like a consumable. Don't feel any pain. I'm kind of tempted to hold on to them. I think they trigger like weird events. That's probably not necessary. This is a great place to sell these furs. Kind of lucky. So, man, we made like 9K off of that trip. That's not too shabby. And we're going to buy every single set of tools they have. And they have ammunition for really good prices. We'll buy that as well. And we probably should just buy every bit of food we can. We can buy more ammunition. No big deal. Alright. I think there's anything else we need to sell. We can come in here and look at the armory. Oh my god, they have this helmet again. This has got to be the best crossbow helmet in the game. And this is one of just the best helmets in the game. 337. Damn. We're not rich like we used to be. There was a time when we were rocking like 20K. But we bought a lot of good stuff. And we just can't afford these anymore. That sucks. But if I was, doing this off camera, I'd probably just go take a bunch of fights and come back and buy one of these. Let's see with the Fletcher if there's any more legendary bows for sale, and there aren't. Okay. Take our guys to the tavern. A Crusader, guys. I can't believe we got a Crusader. That's pretty awesome. Hedge Knight here. Let's see what this contract is. Fight off the undead scourge. It's northeast. Okay. It's a pretty expensive quest for 2 skulls. And they're going to pay us more. From the ruins of Borgen. It's probably pretty far away, which is why they're paying us so much. Let's see where it is. Is it like unbelievably far away? Oh my god. Seriously? Like when they said northeast, I was like, it'll probably be here or here. It's all the way on the other side of the world. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take advantage of this. We're going to come back up here and, you know, reveal even more of the map. We'll try and chew out this part of the Fog of War, take the fight, and then come right back, all the while exploring along the way. So, yeah. And now that our inventory is empty for the most part, we can go ahead and move around some of our bros. And I think that's what we're going to do. Okay. Hondo, man, we need you to get healed up pretty bad. So we want Sir Steinhardt in, for sure. We definitely want to find a home for Egil, whose name we'll trade temporarily to, let's call him Joe. With an E. Joe with an E. Joe the Crusader, kind of in honor of the Crusader Diablo, Joanna. But if you've got a name suggestion, if you want to claim the Crusader character, guys, and you haven't suggested a name already, please do. And who else do we have? We need Giro in here instead of Oz, probably. And we're going to move around their arms and armor in just a bit. Sir Varandox needs to get in over Scaredy. Sir Chris over Yaku. Steezy over Arizil. Who else? Oh yeah, Wolfgang. Wolfgang needs to come in over probably Ramen. And call that good. And he's just wearing this because we didn't have enough helmets. There we go. It's the much better crossbow helmet. Okay, Giro's right there. Egil looks fine. Giro looks... he needs new gear. So we're going to have to take a lot of this stuff off to give to different guys. Sorry if this is kind of boring. It's easier to just kind of take off the things I think I'll need. And a sergeant sash. Ivar has like really great resolve, actually. He'd make a pretty decent secondary sergeant. And for this guy, his fatigue is pretty poor. We're going to have to level him in just a second. We'll give Steezy the legendary shield. Who has great fatigue? Sir Varandox does. We'll give him the decayed coat of plates. He looks fine. He could use a war dog. Definitely need to switch that out to a lamellar harness. Steezy needs one of those. Ivar looks good. This guy at least is going to be an ancient plate harness. But we'll see what his stats shake out to once he's a bit more leveled. So no worries there. Reinforced plate should go on Giro. That looks good. That looks good. Wolfgang needs something better for sure. You know what? Giro actually wears lamellar, I think. No. This guy's going to wear the lamellar. Giro wears the ancient armor. And then Wolfgang wears the reinforced. Okay. I think we're figuring it out, guys. We're almost done. And then all we have left to do is kind of figure out what exactly we want to do with Joe. I know I said I would take suggestions. I think for the moment, I'm going to get him the things that I think are kind of like necessary for him to be functional. We're going to take Student. We are going to perhaps take Steel Brow. Probably going to take Colossus to prevent injuries and increase his health, make him a bit more survivable. Definitely want to take Brawny because we're jumping him up in gear. I really want him to use a great sword. I think that's just thematic for him as a Crusader. Could also use like a flail. But we sold all of our big flails. If I still had one of those ones that the drunk guy lost, that Ivar lost, I would give him flail mastery and give him a flail. So you know what, we'll hold off on that. But I feel like we should give him perhaps Steel Brow or Recover. Let's give him Steel Brow. And then we can give him Reach Advantage for his two-handed weapons. And then Battle Forged is next. We really want to increase his survivability, and that's going to do that for us. So amazing rolls right off the bat. We're going to pass on a 3 here. We can get 5 or 4 rolls off of that. And his fatigue is kind of garbage. But I think we do like this with his first set of rolls. The next one, yeah, there we go. That's a 4, that's a 4, that's great. And then we'll take another 3 here. Take a 4, take a 4, take a 3. Wow. I don't know if we want to go too much higher than that. But we'll take a 4 in his HP. Thanks to Colossus, that counts as 5. I'm pretty happy to take these defensive rolls when we get them. And there we go. So now our entire team is our new guys with some old mixed in to kind of help hold hands. And we'll find a place for Hondo, I think, once we get the chance. And just to make sure we're not taking up random space in our inventory, we will re-outfit our bros. So does no one need this lamellar harness? That seems weird. Can any of our archers actually maintain... Wow, Wolfgang has amazing fatigue. Yeah, he can wear that easily. It might be time to consider taking this off of Raymond and giving him something better. Because I think this armor is going to go to Sir Steinhardt once he levels. But he'll probably just take this lamellar harness with that kind of fatigue. So I think that's good. See a few things more we can sell. I didn't even see what they had to buy. Military cleaver. Yeah. Okay. Every space we clear is good. Sell off a few of those. We don't need them. Just need to make space because we're going on another long adventure. Wait, did I see another signet ring? Did I miss a signet ring? Am I going crazy? No, we're good. Okay. Alright, let's roll out. See what we can do. We're going to come this way. Probably hug these mountains here. I think we came down kind of a this'ly pattern. We might be able to find a place that we can take a fight in easily. We want to take all the fights we can along the way to make this type of trip worth it. I'm not that confident in the amount of provisions we have. When we get up here, we'll probably have to stop at Hornguard, not just to recuperate and to restock, but also to sell. Maybe a lot of mountains here. I'm going to stay kind of zoomed in, because seeing those Alps reminded me how little I want to take an Alp fight. Whoa, 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 whoa. So we found a goblin city, Nazatuz, a defensible outpost erected by goblins. Interesting. So today's episodes, we're almost at an hour, and we've done some pretty cool stuff, to be honest. I would love to take on a Goblin City. We've taken on an Orc War Camp, and we came out on top. But a Goblin City presents a lot more challenges. This is not... I don't think this is an extremely scary fight, but we haven't faced a Shaman before with this crew, and this is our B team, we have to remember. So this could be pretty dangerous. Not scared of an Overseer, not scared of skirmishers or ambushers, but the Shamans make things difficult. And we'll see why probably at the beginning of tomorrow's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, my name is Brett. My channel is Good Talk Gaming. Look forward to taking on the Goblin City at the beginning of the next episode. Guys, we killed a Warlord. We got the quest for the Kraken here at the Stone Pillars. And we got a Crusader brother who I hope somebody out there is willing to claim. Someone who hasn't given me a name before, who wants to be a part of our crew. A Crusader, I mean, you can't get much better than that. That's like a unique background. So, guys, just let me know. And, yeah, that's it. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. YouTube stuff. Like the video. And, yeah, I appreciate all that, guys. Thank you, and have a great day.